Welcome to the Cadmatic podcast with data-driven shipbuilding, your source for stories and insights from the evolving world of ship design and construction.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another podcast in our Cadmatic data-driven shipbuilding podcast series. Today's topic is from void to vessel. So we're going to look at how we create a vessel from scratch and what the most important steps are. I'm joined again by Oleksandr Zherebetskyi and Vitalii Vyshnevskyi from C-Job Nikolayev in the Ukraine. Hello, gents. Nice to see you again. I think you're the perfect people to take us through the process of looking at how to create a vessel completely from scratch. And to our audience, of course, just a reminder about C-Job Nikolayev, that they are part of C-Job Naval Architects, and they are experts in, offshore markets, dredging, ferries, cruise vessels, mega yachts, and workboats. So they come with a lot of design experience. And I am Martin Brunk from Cadmatic, your host for today's podcast. So, guys, let's just start from the very beginning. You're staring at a blank screen at the very beginning of a project. There's no hull, no decks, nothing. What's the first thing you start doing to bring a vessel to life?
Yeah, well, first of all, we need to set up the norms. We use for that our special document project passport. We set up the norms, then we set up the frame ruler, and finally we upload the surface, because when we start work usually in Cadmatic, it means that we do our basic design or detailed design. And before this stage, we already have concept design, which means that we have already surface, which was created in other software, and we can upload it in Cadmatic and start work with that.
Is that kind of upload easy?
Yeah, it's quite easy. For the basic design, we just need to upload the surface and we can start to play it around. If we speak about the detailed design, it means that we need more special hull lines to be created before, or it will be added in Cadmatic. It's two ways always, or we can create hull lines in another software, or we can make it directly in Cadmatic.
Yeah, and talking about the outfitting part, we start with implementing the main big equipment. And as Vitalii mentioned, we already have the concept design, so we do know what the type of vessel we are working on. So usually it's not changing. We start for the dredger, we are finishing the dredger, but everything can happen.
I hope so. I hope so.
Yes. And yeah, we start with the big equipment, with the big pipes. And generally on this stage, quite a lot of can be changed, the location of equipment, and it takes that we need also to relocate some tanks, to reduce some compartments. And yeah, that's the first steps.
Okay, and Vitalii, you mentioned very quickly there something about the project passport. Can you explain us a little bit more exactly what that is and why it is important that you have that when you start the project?
It's our documents that we develop, which contain all necessary. It describes all necessary settings for the Cadmatic norms that we could discuss with the client before we start the project, because it's very important to have all these parameters before we start. It saves our time during the project, because when it's appear on the middle of the project that, for example, yard can't bend the flanges in this way because they have equipment that has special parameters, and it appears that we should change the settings and release, for example, production again. It's time consuming, so that is why it's very important to have it at the very beginning. It's our approach to set everything at the very beginning and then go smoothly during the whole project.
Okay, right. So that kind of allows for a smooth transition following, once the project is completed. Let's now talk a little bit about modeling of the hull. Where exactly do you start? I mean, is there a particular sequence that you work with?
When you create, for example, first horizontal view, you see the black screen, and only tiny lines on sides from our surface. And that's what you start. You create the deck plate, so you can relate to the x coordinates and to this our shape. And that's how you get your deck plate. After that, you can create bulkheads or another levels of decks, and you already have something. After that, you can add stiffeners, some stringers, beams, and you got your bones of your vessel.
Right, and I'm going to throw in another question here. So for our audience, maybe some people don't know what stiffeners are. Can you maybe explain that?
So we can say this is a bones of our vessel, because if we just keep plates without any stiffeners, it will be, you know, how to say?
Floppy, maybe.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, and I mean, I know that you use Cadmatic for this hull design. How do you find the software in for this part of the project?
Yeah, that's how we usually do it. It's no other way, let's say, to start modeling. First of all, you need to have main plates, let's say. In our cases, it's always decks and bulkheads or tanks compartments.
Yeah, and usually we, the mechanical team, we come when something with the hull is already done in the model, and it's quite logic. But I remember myself working on the project and it was completely empty, and we need to already start doing something to see if we can fit everything in our concept design stage. And I can say in this situation, when you have the empty model, it was very comfortable to use the layouts in Cadmatic. So we were able to import the layout of the deck. So even if you have nothing, you will be able to see the compartment where it starts, where it ends, the tanks, and it's very comfortable use. And even when we do have hull, sometimes it's not very easy to catch up what exactly this compartment is, not talking about the engine room. And you will see the description of all the tanks, all the compartments, very comfortable and very easy.
You've already a little bit touched on it there, Oleksandr, but let's now assume, okay, that you've got the hull basics in place. How do you start with outfitting? And I mean, what is the logic that you follow there? What comes first, and what is the sequence that you tend to do that in?
So basically, when we do have hull, that's very good for us. We have tanks, we have general conception, and we start with the main systems. Quite also important for us is also importing the damage water lines in the model, because it have a big influence on the ship stability and how the systems should be routed. So, and when we have everything set it up, we know that, okay, all pumps are here, treatment system here, engines here, everything is fitted. We start with the systems, and then we are going step by step, and we start looking at it more in detail.
Okay, so of course, during this part of the outfitting project, you have to make some very big and important decisions that are going to affect the project down the line, right?
Yeah, that's true. Quite a lot of happens during the project, and very important to be in the right time frame. Yeah. So when we are changing, we are making big decisions. So we need to understand that more we move forward with the project, is much harder to make such big decision. So I have one or two couple of great examples. So I will talk mostly about the engine room, because it's the most complex part of the ship. So quite easy solution, yeah, to raise the floor in the engine room 150 millimeters. It sounds very easy and do not have a lot of influence on the hull structure, but it's a huge impact on how pipes are routed below this floor. So unfortunately, it was this decision was not made at the project where we're working for, and on the later stage, no one can accept this. It's already approved by everyone, by class, and we should proceed with what we have now. And we struggle quite a lot, I would say, frankly speaking, we struggle, but and then we managed. But it forced us to make non-starter decision to fit this.
I think you also had an example about the engine room and the amount of engines changing.
Oh yeah. Uh, so many emotions happening with this project. I will tell you what, the first idea was as having two engines for this type of vessel, so it was a special operation vessel. And then we received this information that we are having 4 engines. But it was like heartbreaking moment, because you have to understand that the size of engine remained the same, but we should fit it completely in the same hull-sized compartment. So it's not only for us a lot of work, but also for the hull team to implement the foundation for it and all. We managed to do this, but it was very complicated. It was so crowded, let's say, in this room.
I can totally believe that. Yeah.
And I would say that why this happening, why such global changes? So, of course, some calculations could be made. There are a couple of ways how it happened. Some calculations could be made, and with 4 engines, you are more flexible to have some operating mode for the engines. So when you're using all your capacities, you're using 4 engines. When you're in the port, you're using 1 engine. When you're just going, using 3 engines. So you're more flexible. But also, we should take into account the client demands, the client choices, and the client find out more attractive option for them. And we should do what we can do best. We start analyzing. We start implementing this in the real life. I can say that very often we faced in our work that, okay, that's not possible. The first thought of the project manager, but then we start to rethink. Maybe we can do a little bit here, a little bit here. Maybe we can find out the decision from other projects that can be implemented here. And always decision comes, and we proceed, and we have results.
Yeah, that's a really great example, Oleksandr. I mean, I can just imagine. Tell me, were those engines, were they the same size?
The same size, exactly
Okay, so
the same size.
you start with 2 and suddenly you have to fit 4 engines. That to me sounds almost like an impossibility, but you guys made it work.
It was real, yes, it was real. And this is the importance of making these steps. You can imagine if this was in the later stage when everything is ready, or maybe in the middle, it's a catastrophe. But at the beginning stage, it was more possible for us to do this.
Exactly. Yeah, that is a fantastic example. So, of course, I mean, when you design ships, you need a lot of naval architectural skills and design skills and things like that. And we've touched a little bit on Cadmatic, which is the software you use. So the tools also important. And I think you guys have been using Cadmatic for around 10 years now. Can you maybe tell me how it has changed over the years? Are there any features of Cadmatic that you can't live without today, or any big changes that you would like to highlight for our listeners?
Yeah, I can tell you. And first examples that come to my mind, it's as you mentioned, I have 10 years of experience. And first version when I met Cadmatic, it was actually Nupa's version. And there was actually 1 or 2 people in companies that could work with shell plate creation. And I also was in the team, let's say. And I remember that we could spend like days to create some difficult shell plates that have complex curvature. Because you need to, I will not go through all these details, but it takes from you a lot of steps. And when you get to the final result, it could appear that it's not satisfy you. You see that contour looks wrong. You should go back and do all the steps again. And it could a lot of efforts and time from you. And right now, in latest versions of Cadmatic, everybody can do that, because to create a shell plate, it's the same simple like a flat plate. You just select the boundaries, select grade of material, thickness, and click, create your plate, and it's done.
Oh yeah. Well, that's great. I've heard from other people as well. That this shell plates and creating them used to be an extremely complex process, and they're probably just one or two people, as you say, who have the knowledge to be able to do that. And now that's kind of been infused into Cadmatic software, so it makes it possible for more people. What about you, Oleksandr? Do you have anything that has changed a lot from your perspective?
Yeah, the first one, the most biggest thing that comes to my mind, that when I started working, I remember that everyone in the department, in the mechanical department, so you will come to the person and you imagine the screen, we're working on one monitor, and this monitor is divided into 4 parts, in which part you have the 2D view, so you're looking from the top, aft, forward, port side, starboard. You choose what you can fit, what you would like to fit on this views. And I would say it's a bit complex, and you should pay more attention to each view, and it takes more time. That okay, at this view everything is good. Now I need to look from the other side. And after the time, of course, you get used to it, and it's comfortable for you. But now everyone works just in one view. 3D view is much more easy to navigate. It's much more easy to make some operations. It's not even easy, it's faster. So you do not need to click more times to set up the functions you would like. And this is it. So it's now more contemporary, one 3D model, and you are moving much more faster.
Tell me, are there any like commands or buttons or shortcuts that you are constantly using that save you time or just help you in your work?
Really. What I do like in the Cadmatic, and I can compare with a quite couple more 3D softwares that I've been working in, that the using of the hotkeys is very nice, very cozy. And then I'm speaking now not only on the navigating in the 3D view, I'm also speaking about the using the commands. So everything that you need, for example, starting with the creation, simple components, everything consists of the simple components, pipe, you need to measure anything, you need to place equipment, cable tray. So you have the hotkeys for this one. And when you are navigating, looking at the top view, hotkeys, create, hotkeys, move 1 meter from here, nice. You have the nice dimension, everything. I've made it in a couple of minutes. And these commands very cozy, and I would say it's quite normal amount of these commands, because we are not like AutoCAD and Excel users. You've seen these tables where there's hundreds of formulas, hundreds of hotkeys for this software, and you need to be a big expert there. But here we have maybe about 20 commands, but it gives us very huge flexibility of creating the stuff that we need. So that's what I like here.
All right. What about you, Vitalii?
Yeah, well, from HAL perspective, I could tell that we don't have too many this hotkeys, and mostly we use them when you do drawings. And what's the good thing is that even if you don't know that hotkeys, the Cadmatic tell you, it show a tiny row on top that if you push this button, then it happens that things, and it's like help you navigate you during your work. But usually, we HAL engineers, we use mostly special buttons. So we need to create plates, we have this button place, so we push it. Yeah, for sure, there's inside a lot of different parameters to create difficult boundaries. But actually, that's what we need. You need to create plate, you push plate button, same for profiles, same for flanges, and there are others. When you go in details, you need to create some barrels or holes, and for all of these things, you have in a construction area all these necessary buttons that you can easily select.
Okay, great. I remember in our first podcast, we of course spoke about retrofitting and we touched on point clouds. So I think, let's maybe ask about that. Handling point clouds in Cadmatic, when do you do that in your projects and how do you find that?
As you mentioned, we do face with pod clients when we have the outfitting project. It helps us to see the exact situation on the ship. So we have it in the model. So we receive the scan information from our scanning team, and we start with what we need to do. So it allows us to investigate the model, and it allows us, for example, we see everything. We have different position where we can observe and how we can observe. We can measure from these point clouds. We can we can place our pipes, for example, off top of existing pipes to recreate the same situation of what we have on the ship in the model. We have, as I mentioned, different position of the view. So we can investigate, for example, we are working with this pump. We investigate the situation from the left side, from the right side. We see that there is no hull construction, that nothing, no obstructions here, and we need to move pipe or to reconnect another way to save some space. So it's very comfortable. We do see the real situation, and it allows us without mistakes to make our tasks.
Yeah, and I remember you told me that, of course, you need to do the laser scanning to create the point clouds and then you import them into Cadmatic. And that you, in some projects, you do that whilst the vessels are at sea still.
Yeah, that's correct. Everything is connected with the time frame. So to speed up the process, the people spends a couple of days on the ship during its operation to save the time standing in the yard and working in the model.
Yeah. Okay, so we've kind of like briefly covered the main steps, and we've touched on a couple of interesting points. Let's think now. Okay, once you see a photograph of the real ship, once it's built, or let's say it's in the process of being built. That must be a really powerful moment for your design team. Can you maybe tell us how that feels?
Yeah, indeed. It's really cool when you can see the result of your work and your team. I quite often ask our clients to send me some pictures. Also, there's some, restriction and NDAs, so it's not allowed to make photos and spread through the internet all these photos, but I ask just for internal use, just to show our team how it looks in real life. And it's really good to have this opportunity to see these photos, because not always clients could agree to send it, but when it's happened, it's really cool.
What about you, Oleksandr?
We had an opportunity last year with the team to also visit the ship we were working on, and that was very emotional part, because it was a big project. We have a different time scale. The project can last couple of months till the year and even more, and it was the one that we worked a year on the project. So you have your area and like everything about the area. It's like your room, everything. What is this corner, one in that corner, the history. Okay, that was moved because of a request of the client. That was moved because of the diagram update. And the history here. And when you see it on board, that's emotional, yeah.
Yeah. Have any of you ever been on an actual vessel that you worked on the design? Like, I don't know, you go on a cruise and you say to people next to you on the cruise, well, I actually designed this vessel or something like that.
Well, I have a dream to visit one my vessel. Well, not mine, okay, but I participate in detailed design, but I still have no time to do that. But definitely one day I will visit this cruise river ship, because it's a lot of warm memories from the time when we collaborate with a big team in Netherlands and in Ukraine. And I still have a lot of friends from that time, we still have some small chat, and we can sometimes, discuss some things.
What about you, Oleksandr?
Big projects create big connections, yeah.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
only
I
on
imagine it would be nice to get on that vessel with the 4 engines to kind of go to the
oh,
engine room and just look at it and say, well, okay, this is what my team did,
yeah, that's true. It happens that I was on one ship, but in the yard, not operating, and it was not the one with the 4 engines, the other one. Yeah, the great opportunity.
Okay, great. All right. So I've also heard a little bit saying that you guys have won some awards for your ship 3D models.
Cadmatic decided to make a competition between the 3D models, and it appears that our model been voted by everybody for the first place. So we won the award of the best 3D model in this year.
Congrats again on that. But that's not the only award you've got, right? I think there was one other one too.
Yeah, actually, the model that we sent for this competition, it was a middle dredger, is 60 plus meters vessel, and it appears that this dredger win also another award. It's like Big Maritime Award, something like that, like best middle trailer hopper suction dredger. So yeah, and by the way, actually, this dredger was done for Teovena client, and they built this dredger for the Polish for the Poland, and so currently we are working in Poland office, and when this dredger come to Gdańsk, I grab my wife camera and we go to the part where this vessel was parking, and we took a lot of photos from there. So I was not able to go on board, but I was quite close to the vessel, and we make a lot of pictures. And after that, I send it to our marketing team, and they make some posts. And after that, these photos spread through the world in some newspapers that, well, that was dredger that done for the Poland, and everywhere was my photo where I stand near this vessel. I'm a bit little, but
little but happy.
Yeah, but happy.
Lovely story. Right. So shipbuilding and ship design, of course, is a serious business. But as we've seen in our discussions, I'm sure there are also some light-hearted or more funny moments. Is there anything that comes to mind on your projects, things that maybe made you laugh or you found very amusing?
Yeah, it's such a lot of things. Usually, when we work together with mechanicals, it's always we faced with something that could interfere our departments. For example, we need to move this equipment from here because we need here a big reinforcement. Or Oleksandr can tell me, you need to move these brackets or decrease height of girders, or we need a big hole here. So do something. But and we cannot do that because of some rules. And it always, brainstorming to find the solution or make some inserts, and yeah, it's a lot of things.
I would say every day happening something that makes me laugh, and it's good when it's positive. Yeah, positive laugh. And I remember myself also a short story here that on the cruise vessel there are quite a lot of ventilation ducts, ventilation pipes, and usually the pipes are bigger than the space we have in the girders area. And yeah, it happens very often when I come to Vitalii and ask, okay, here we need such big duct as the same as the girder size. Can we have a penetration here? And I hear the answer no. And then I have a crazy plan in my mind. Okay, please make here a hull duct. And Vitalii, okay, he could to make this hot dog, but as I know, he has the deliveries also for this side. And also, but the best part of this plan that I'm giving when Vitalii accept this means that I'm giving the part of my job to Vitalii, and I have less job to do. He needs now to integrate this duct. That's now a health department problem.
That's great. I love the fact that you've got this banter and a bit of fun also between the different departments.
Yeah, it's the funny moment is it always happen when we have already some deliveries, because mechanical start a bit later than we, and they have also a bit late deliveries. And when it appears that we need to integrate, for example, ventilation in hull, it means that we already all released product information or about to do that. And it means that we need to change a lot of things and in a model, in drawing, and into product information. And it's always a bit challenge, but yeah, we need to, main thing here, communicate with client and describe what's happened here, why we need to do that. Sometimes client first ask us to integrate that. And the main thing is just to deal with the deadlines. Everyone understands that, with some changes, it takes some time. And we need to agree to move the deadlines.
Great, fantastic. Well, listen, guys, we are out of time for today's podcast. Thanks a lot, Oleksandr and Vitalii, for sharing your insights. And also great to hear here at the end, these stories that you've got, and also some of the fun that you can have whilst creating these brilliant vessels. So thanks for tuning in to our data-driven shipbuilding podcast, and keep a lookout for our next one. See you next time.